Sturgeon received hellish backlash from pub owner over Scotland's new COVID-19 restriction rules. Nicola Sturgeon has been barred from a pub chain for implementing Scotland's latest COVID restrictions. The SNP leader introduced a raft of measures on Boxing Day, citing the emergence of the Omicron COVID variant, which is believed to spread fast but be less damaging than previous strains. These included the reintroduction of table service and bubbles at hospitality settings, limiting business capabilities at what would otherwise have been a particularly busy period. Following agreement at last week's Parliamentary Bureau, Presiding Officer Alison Johnston confirmed Holyrood will be asked to agree to sit on December 29 and potentially on January 5 for updates on COVID and for MSPs to ask questions of the First Minister. It is not yet known whether tighter restrictions will be considered by the First Minister and her cabinet when MSPs convene on Wednesday. Multiple sources had said that on Sunday that the First Minister wanted Holyrood to discuss bringing in new measures to help combat the spread of the dominant Omicron variant of the virus. At the time, the First Minister denied she had any current plans to carry out a recall of Parliament. However, two independent sources confirmed on Sunday that it was being actively discussed and considered, before later being confirmed by the presiding officer. It comes as temporary measures to limit the spread of Omicron came into force. From 5 a.m. yesterday, attendance at large events was limited to 100 people for indoor standing events, 200 for indoor seating events and 500 to all outdoor events. From 5 a.m. today, 1 meter physical distancing has been reinstated in all hospitality and indoor leisure settings including pubs, restaurants, gyms, theatres and museums amongst others. Table service is also required in settings where alcohol is served for consumption on the premises. Nightclubs are also to close for at least 3 weeks. William Lees-Jones, owner of J.W. Lees Pubs, responded furiously, barring the First Minister from his establishments for life. He said the restrictions would hit hospitality business, already struggling after almost 2 years of various levels of restrictions, hard and could even force some venues to close permanently. The businessman told Manchester Evening News, MEN, the reshuffling of bookings and New Year, that's going to send some businesses over the edge. He added that the restrictions were not only damaging but also did not make sense. Mr. Lees-Jones said, from a public service perspective, if you don't have people congregating in public houses, people will meet at home. That's much more dangerous for public health. Ms. Sturgeon is not the only leader to have received a strong response from Mr. Lees-Jones. Welsh First Minister Mark Drakeford has also been slapped with a lifetime ban from all J.W. Lees pubs. Since Boxing Day, only a maximum of 6 people are allowed to meet in pubs and other hospitals venues in Wales. Mr. Lees-Jones responded to a post on Twitter that suggested the Scottish and Welsh leaders imposed unnecessary, draconian measures simply because they could. He wrote, both are barred for life from all J.W. Lees pubs. In another post, Mr. Lees-Jones said a sage advisor, journalist Robert Peston and government advisor Professor Neil Ferguson were also all barred from his pubs. He said, we have people who are public servants or journalists who are saying things that are putting people's businesses at risk. Scotland's new rules will last for at least 3 weeks. They also impact football, with games being limited to 500 fans. Protesting the measures on December 22, a group of Celtic fans held a large sign during a match, which read, "Fuck off SNP." The sign added, "Open your homes for COP26 but closed doors for fans." This refers to the SNP's welcoming of thousands of international climate delegates to Glasgow in November for the COP26 climate conference, in contrast to the limiting of Scottish social interaction after Christmas. All of the temporary measures introduced in recent days are to be reviewed after 3 weeks on Tuesday, January 11. The last available figures released by the Scottish Government show 7,076 new cases of COVID-19 reported on Christmas Eve, with 10 deaths and a positivity rate of 14.6%.